Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne, and I've been to Israel twice. It's a great country. I would love to go back, and we're going to talk about Israel right now, especially for, I guess, college-age students, maybe high school graduates, though I think that Phyllis should be doing a gap year for adults as well. We're going to spend some time with Phyllis Folb, and she is versed in all things gap with a specialty in Israel programs, and she's on our line right now. She has a new book out. It's called Find Your Right Direction, the Israel Gap Year Guide, from Redwood Publishing. Phyllis, welcome to Late Night Health.
Well, thank you so much, Mark.
A gap year, and I'm going to say it real quick, is after you graduate high school, maybe you take a year off before you go to college. Maybe after a year or two of college, you take a year off before you finish, and you do something else. Some people work, some people travel. Is that basically the idea of a gap year?
Yes, my friend, it is. I would say that it's the traditional time that kids take it, people take it, is that period of time right after high school and before college. It has been wildly popular, of course, for many, 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 many years in not in the U.S. I mean, in all of Europe and, of course, Israel. They take the fuel after high school and before the army, or after the army. So it's worldwide. The gap year has been around for many, many years. Traditional Jews have gone to Israel to study, for many years, so that was happening. But it finally, the gap year as a whole in the U.S. really, really, exploded. I would say within the last 5 to 10 years, and then really went crazy, of course, now. We are finding that kids do not want to spend their freshman year in their bedroom and would like to be doing something of purpose. And so we're finding huge numbers in interest in going on a gap year.
But at the same time, is Israel allowing people to come in at this point? I thought it was basically closed.
Well, actually, that's very interesting that you said it. Israel is actually one of the only countries that is indeed allowing Americans to come in for the specific reason of long-term learning, whatever learning that might be. So that could be internships, that can be volunteer service, etc. Mostly, and the programs are very well versed in this because Israel has a tremendous amount of gap year programs. I spotlight 60 programs in my book. But there are many more beyond that. So Israel is wildly popular right now because it's the only one that's allowing people to come in for this specific reason.
But they are quarantined.
Yes, so they come in. It's very programmatic. It's very totally, they have a real ironclad, kind of structure, these programs. They pick them up. They have a quarantine period. They have programs while they're in quarantine, and then they come out and then continue their actual gap year experience, whatever program that there are and what programmatically that they are doing, whether that's learning, whether that's internships, whatever it is. And because Israel last year had some experience with this, dealing with it, that they're way ahead of the curve in terms of providing programming and et cetera for gap year students.
I think you should change your direction and have a gap year program for people 50 plus.
It's very funny that you should say that because I can't tell you how many parents say, can I go on a gap year? I mean, it's very, we all want a gap year, which is why I'm so adamant about telling students now is the time to go. They're very anxious, should I go to college right away and stay on that one road instead of taking a little, turn. but and really increasing their job security and keeping their GPA, increasing the fact that they can graduate faster. All the reasons that gap years are so popular and important, and just their having their what I call the miracle of everyday living. You know, like learning how to live on your own and developing emotional maturity. So, but I tell my kids, now is the time, because if you don't do it now, you're going to, when all the other reasons that come into your life, work, college, girlfriend, marriage, whatever it is, clouds that time. And this is the time when you're completely unencumbered and have an opportunity to really see what you want to do. So,
when you were 18, 20, did you go to Israel?
I didn't go to Israel until I was older, which was like so sad for me. I got, and later I got inspired. I was always, of course, a big supporter, et cetera, given the group that I hang with. But I didn't go till later, and of course fell in love. And but I became interested in doing this. I was a college counselor by profession, and my own daughters went on a gap year, and I was like blown away about the incredible growth that happened to them. And then as a college counselor, I started realizing that this is not unique to my child, but can be beneficial to everyone, and started, promoting the gap year as an option. And it also became very, very popular with the students that I counsel, and realized that, okay, this is beyond the beyond. We have to really, as counselors, as educators, as parents, have to start looking at this with a real, positive attitude. And then life and the world also caught up. I mean, colleges also saw that they had better retention and the kids had, more success and higher GPAs, that they started encouraging it. So now there's really a real momentum for kids to do it.
We should point out that this is not only for Jewish students, but this is for people of all faiths. And I think it's important, right?
I mean, my book, focuses on Israel, but, Israel is the startup nation, and we have people coming for internships in technology and medical research and you name it, fashion, or, technology for sure. So, if you're using anything, probably you're using your phone or any equipment you're using, et cetera, came from Israel, drip irrigation, that farmers are using, all came from Israel. So people want to go to Israel because when you intern in Israel, you actually do something. You're not just getting coffee because, Israel has an attitude that even failure is a success. Yay, now what did you learn from it? Let's go on. So there's a real energy in terms of young people getting hands-on experience.
One of the things that Phyllis does, of course, is she runs the American Israel Gap Year Association. It's a 501c3 nonprofit for students, and you can go to AmericanIsraelGapAssociation.org. We'll have that on our website. And the book is called Find Your Right Direction, the Israel Gap Year Guide. And when was the last time you were in Israel, Phyllis?
Well, I was supposed to go this year, and of course you know what happened. But 3 years ago, I was there for quite a while and saw all my programs. And then I was supposed to go this year to see all my students, and then, we couldn't do it. But now, of course, I'm looking forward that life will change, and I'll be able to go there soon. Got it.
Phyllis, thank you very much for visiting with us here at Late Night Health. And again, if you want information, you can go to AmericanIsraelGapAssociation.org. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Join us at LateNightHealth.com. That's LateNightHealth.com. Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment. If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308.
There's a lot of talk all over the internet about the remarkable benefits of Carbon-60, and baby boomers are especially excited about it. Greska's Carbon-60 is the premium Carbon-60, developed by an aerospace and NASA scientist. 95% of Greska's customers report positive results from this Nobel Prize-winning technology in just 4 days. Imagine more energy, better health, and more vitality. It's very bioavailable to quickly mend toxin-crippled cells. This is a super powerful antioxidant. Bob Greska is so confident that you'll love his Carbon-60, he wants to send you a bottle at 50% off the regular price to see how life-changing this will be for you. Call 720-600-6040. That's 720-600-6040. Visit c-60.com to learn more. Call 720-600-6040 now or visit c-60.com.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. To think like an angel, you just have to see the love that's within all of those around you. It's as simple as sharing what's in your heart. When you think, act, and love just like an angel, there's little difference between you and these beautiful celestial beings. When you awake, begin your day in gratitude for something in your life. Start your day by embracing the first person you meet with a hug and a kiss. If you encounter someone in need, help them. It's as easy as sharing a smile or a kind word. And most importantly, love, love, love. It's that simple.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com. Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, and we're going to go to the home of the Italian Stallion. I happened to watch Rocky something last night, one of the, 42 versions of Rocky last night, in anticipation of Robert Clancy calling in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Robert, welcome to Late Night Health again.
Yeah, thanks. Great to be back.
And so we're going to talk about anticipation. I was anticipating Robert last night as I watched Rocky. And I'm going to listen to Robert's message about anticipating.
Yes. So the inspirational thought is when you're anticipating something, sometimes the wait is worth more than the actual thing you're going to get. I remember a time when I was getting my first aquarium. I was obsessed with getting tropical fish. And we got the aquarium, we were heading out to buy everything, and I finally got the tank, and then it took a little bit to get the pump, and then the rocks and everything, and I was anticipating the fish going in there. And I couldn't even sleep the night before. My dad was taking me to the store to get the fish to put in the tank. I had everything prepped and learned about how to put them in there and get the temperature right and all that stuff. And it was an amazing experience. And then the fish multiplied. So, then there were babies in there one day. And that was just another anticipation of, I bought some fish and they made more.
Did you sell those fish back to the aquarium store?
I could have, probably got my money back, but apparently the bigger ones ate them.
Yes.
It's a hard lesson to learn about economics.
Yes, it is. I had the same experience when I was a kid.
Yeah. But isn't that true? Just waiting around for something. Sometimes, you're just so excited that something's coming that, you're in this place of like bliss. And when you're finally there, don't let it be a letdown when you finally, get whatever that is. It could be that job, the career that you're looking for. It could be that trip to somewhere. And then you're finally there and you're like, it was so exciting when I was thinking I was going to get here, and now I'm here. And it's like, keep that energy in you, because that's what's going to drive you to have a great experience.
Well, it's also like dating or looking for a job. That work in looking for a job and getting your ideal job, and you get it and you go, I'm here, I've made it. Or you're looking for that perfect someone that you love and they love you. When you start in a relationship, there's that anticipation of what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And, if you're in that space, it's discovery, and they call that like the honeymoon phase, I guess, when you're there until you figure out, like, I hate how you chew your toenails or something. I don't know, with some weird habit that they have and that starts driving you crazy.
Yes.
The trick is to, as you're going through that, and just keep that energy from the initial meeting, because you can keep your brain, and as you know, we've talked about this, when you have your mind working and you smile, you have a good experience, it changes the chemistry of your mind, it affects your body, therefore it affects your health. And that's what your show is all about, is healthy living and getting through that. And when you have that honeymoon phase, pay attention to how you're feeling and what those things are and what you're thinking, and try to carry that through beyond that.
Well, I just wrote down the word chase. It's that chasing to the goal. And like with you couldn't wait to get your guppies or mollies or.
I did. I had guppies and mollies.
Got it. Okay. I knew that. See, I am psychic.
You are. There you go.
Right. And so you wanted to. You couldn't wait, but you kept that anticipation, that energy alive, and I think that's what a lot of people do. Is like in a relationship, they finally meet somebody, they have that honeymoon phase, they're in that chase, anticipation, and now they're finally together and they go, uh-oh, I goofed. A lot of people do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
exactly. And yeah, staying in that field is a better approach.
How do you maintain that energy? What's a good way of maintaining the energy so you don't lose out?
It's being ultra conscious in that moment, really thinking about how you're feeling and why are those feelings there, and then trying to maintain that after. What was it that really drove you there? And have that. And sometimes it's putting yourself back in that space of either visualizing it or actually physically going there or doing something that where people revisit the place where they had their first date, things like that, and where are they now, and then trying to reconnect with that energy from that initial meeting. And those things are all healthy, they're all positive, they're all good.
I was just thinking of the place where I told Carol I loved her for the first time. At the time, it was this quaint little Italian restaurant. It is now something else. But every time we pass that building, I turn to her and I say, I love you. and it means something to both of us.
Right, and that's the key thing, is you're connecting with that energy, and it's maintained there, because that's really the key thing. It's that is a place and time, but it's also timeless because you've made it that way, and that's where you have that space for that.
I have to call Carol when we're done with the show and tell her that. They had a 3-layered antipasto plate, and that was really dinner, all kinds of appetizers, and it's a shame they went out of business. Anyway, we both really enjoyed the place, and of course it was extra special because of me saying I love you. You've said in the past that love is the most powerful thing on earth. How does love and anticipation dovetail together?
Well, they're intimately connected, because when you're anticipating something that you love, that's really what it is. It comes down to that, something that is on the other end of that equation. So it's reciprocal. It's almost like an infinity symbol. If you keep that energy flowing back and forth between those two states, that's what bliss is. That's when you're in that true state of joy. That's happiness. That's all of it.
Our guest is Robert Clancy. He is the author of many books. He's also the co-host of the Mindset Reset TV program, and that'll be going back into production with Lisa Winston very soon. Do you have any dates yet?
Well, season 3 just launched, so that's going out. We still have a couple more episodes to go up, and if you go to mindsetresettv.com, there's a link over to all the past episodes and the current ones that are coming out. We've got some interesting guests that have been on. Dee Wallace, Kevin Sorbo. I think there was a young man on there at one time, and the co-writer of your book has been on our show as well.
Right.
So Sam. So
Sam has been on the show. We should do another episode on growing old sucks, because I think that would be
exactly. I don't think you've talked about it much, but you have a book out too, Mr. Author. So everybody's got to pick up Growing Old Sucks.
True. Yeah, Growing Old Sucks, you can still get it at 99 cents at Amazon.com. Robert, we're out of time. I really appreciate you as joining us each and every week. We thank you. Daryl, as always, thank you. And we thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can always write us at info@latenightehealth.com. Have a good week. Have a great week. Stay safe, everybody. Wear that mask and have a healthy week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.